everyone, Dana here, and today I am here on the couch with Kati from Kettes Reise. Today we are talking about the awful sex education that I received at school in the US. Did you have sexual education at your school in Germany?
Yes, I had.
Yes, I had.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
We did.
Yes, we did have it once in 6th grade.
Not that I remember it.
Yeah, in a way. We did. I think we had it 2 or 3 times.
I went to school in a smaller village and I can't remember that we had sex ed.
I know we had it once in elementary school in 4th grade, but that was very just how are babies made, very basic. And then the second time was more, because it was in biology class, it was very sciencey.
Did you have sex education in school in the US?
Yes.
I had a very crappy sex ed in my school. Not good, no. We basically learned nothing.
I think we had to watch a really terrible video. The boys and the girls were separated.
As a lot of schools in America, they did not talk about safe sex. We did not learn about condoms, or it was pretty much just, it was drilled, just don't have sex.
When I was 12, I had sex education at school. In the US, some schools do have a comprehensive sex education program where they learn about contraceptives, but at my school, and what a lot of schools in the US have, what we had was an abstinence-only sex education program.
Okay, what does that mean?
So abstinence means not doing something. So this program taught us that having no sex at all before marriage was the only safe sex.
Wow, okay.
What the program was like was the teacher didn't teach it. It was done in science class, but a person came into the class who we had never met before.
Okay.
And he stood in front of the classroom and he told us, no sex is the only safe sex. No sex is the only safe sex. They didn't teach, in this abstinence-only programs in many places in the US, in many schools, nothing about condoms, nothing about contraception, birth control, how sex works. No, nothing.
Was it like a confessional school you went to, like a Catholic one?
No,
or
it was
like
a public
normal
school.
Oh, wow.
A public school. Mine was in Florida, but I've talked to Americans in other places. Some people have said they had a comprehensive program where they learned other stuff. People also had this abstinence-only thing, and this was just like a normal public school.
So they didn't teach anything but just don't have sex?
Yes.
And that was what was the class all about?
Right, that was my sex education, which isn't really sex education because it's just don't have sex. That was my sex education.
Okay, and that was the only content that was taught?
Yes, that was the only content that was taught. And to kind of drive this point home of pretty much scaring us to not have sex, they used the projector to project onto the wall these huge pictures of male and female genitals with STDs, so diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. So they were really kind of traumatic pictures, really huge on the wall.
Like the pictures we have on the cigarette packages
right,
in
like
Germany?
that, but for not having sex. And going along with this, the message that I got was also, we as girls or women had the responsibility to be the ones to say no. That boys would push for it and ask for it, and that it was our, job, our responsibility if we wanted to be a respectable person, it was our job to say no, and that, the boys would thank us for it later. Because they really didn't want it, but they couldn't help themselves but to try to get it, and that they would thank us later if we said no. That felt like it was also part of our sex education program, that the boys would ask and it was our job to say no.
So you had mixed classes? Gender mixed?
Everyone in the same class learning this together.
Did you as students exchange your opinions about that? Like boys and girls? Do you know how the boys felt about
I didn't talk to anyone about it. No, I went home and my parents knew that I was having sex education course at school, and I came home and I can remember them asking me like, so Donna, what did you learn? And I said, don't worry, I won't have sex before marriage. Don't worry.
I got that.
I got it. We don't have to talk about it. They then said to me, well, let's talk again.
Okay,
And they
okay.
sat down and talked to me
do
again.
this.
I'm lucky. And I'm really grateful that my parents were, that I could talk with them,
Okay.
that they were open.
So, and you did not learn about the organs and like how everything is working and what the uterus?
We did learn at some point about periods.
Okay.
Not in the sex education
Okay.
class.
Okay.
But we did learn about periods. The girls learned about it separately. So
Oh, okay.
I don't think that the boys
interesting.
learned about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did learn about that, but not part of sex ed.
That's
yeah.
completely different. I think that's completely weird and confusing to me because I think we had a really detailed sexual education. We were taught how the organs work and like about the period, and boys and girls learned together. We were taught about what ways you have to not get pregnant, that there are condoms and there's a pill and how hormones work. I can remember our teacher coming into class with a banana and with condoms, and she wanted every one of us to try to roll the condom on the banana so that we got the feeling for it and that we once did it, which was, we made fun of it, and it was just like we were in 13, 14, 12 something. It was just kind of embarrassing for us because you're in that age and you don't want to talk with other kids about that when there are boys in the room. And she wanted us just to try that and to talk about it with everyone. And it was not a separated thing. Also the period stuff. The boys learned about the period.
That's good.
That also they have to pay attention to not make the girl get pregnant.
So it was a shared responsibility.
It's a shared
is what
responsibility.
You learned.
Yeah,
That's
right.
so good.
Yeah.
Now imagine that you had an abstinence-only sex education. They told you no sex is the only safe sex. So you learned nothing about condoms.
Yeah.
Nothing. And then
I can't imagine
and
that.
then you get to sex and you
Yeah.
don't know anything about these things. The abstinence-only sex education program in the US discourages condom use. If you don't learn about condoms, then how would you think
know?
to use them?
Yeah, and that's something you see in movies.
In the
Just
US.
In the US,
Like
yeah.
American
like in American
movies.
movies, yeah.
Have you ever heard of a purity ring?
A what? No.
Okay. So do you know the word purity? Like to be pure?
Like abstinent.
Yeah, exactly. But pure could mean also if you, oh my gosh, I don't know, if you have, water could be pure if it's clean.
Yeah.
So pure is like clean. In the US, there's something called the purity ring. And it could be worn by boys or girls, but most of the time from my experience, it's girls that wear it. And it's given to them often by their parents and often from the parents to the daughter. And she'll wear it to remind her not to have sex. So to stay pure.
Oh, really?
Stay a virgin, stay pure, not have sex.
In case you're thinking about having sex,
You get reminded.
Look at the ring,
Right,
girl.
exactly. And can you imagine that the parents giving that to her, like, stay pure? And it's also this thing of like, boys will
So wrong.
ask, and you need to remind, no, that's right.
Okay, look, I've got the ring,
I've got
I can't.
the ring. So never heard of that in Germany.
It feels so wrong to me. I studied to become a teacher, and this feels just so wrong to me in an educational way, because that's nothing to... Actually, you don't avoid anything. It's just ignoring facts, which make it even worse for like the girls and the boys to grow up with.
Growing up in the US, from TV shows, movies, but also the society around me, I very quickly realized and I internalized this double standard that if a man and a woman have sex, the man would somehow be applauded and praised and cheered for having sex with the woman, but the woman who engaged in the same sexual activity with the man would be quite often slut shamed.
Yeah.
Or said that she's no longer pure for doing that exact same activity.
I had my first boyfriend, who's now my husband, when I was 18. And I never had a boyfriend before my husband. And somehow I felt something was wrong with me because I never had a boyfriend and I didn't have sex before. On the other hand, I know that we had girls in school who had a pretty active sexual lifestyle, and they were like being called the school slut, whereas boys who had an active sexual lifestyle, they were like applauded. So I think it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. So our question for you is, what have been your experiences with this? What are your thoughts on this topic? Did you have sex education in school? And what kinds of things did you learn? Please let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and a really big thank you to Kati. Thank you for joining me in this video.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. I will link to Kati's Instagram down in the description box below.
Thanks.
And please don't forget that this video is a part of a larger video series, and I will link to that playlist over there so that you can check it out. And you can also follow me on Instagram as well, @WantedAdventure. And I think that's it. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen!